wanted to come on here and talk about the story of Naazir and Qaadir Lewis, the two twins that was found unalive on top of Bell Mountain. That's a hiking area in Hiawassee, Georgia. I believe that's how you pronounce it. There was a lot of red flags from the beginning. I was trying to wait it out just to see if I could get some more information, but information is limited. Not sure why, especially if they suspect no foul play. But let's get into it. The first thing is, so last year around this time, there was a man by the name of Trevante Hilton. He was found hanging from a tree. I don't even know if you could say that. I don't even like saying that, but he was found hanging. The GBI also investigated that case and they automatically ruled it a homicide. It didn't really take long. Kind of the same, like police came on the scene and they automatically ruled it unaliving. They really didn't do any investigation. It didn't take any time. The same with the twins. It's like they got called to the scene and they already decided it's an unaliving. No investigation, not asking any questions, nothing. They just automatically assume it's an unaliving. Okay, so that's a red flag to me. Definitely a red flag with Trevante's case, because anytime a black man unalives himself by way of hanging, I feel like that needs to be really investigated. Like, really need to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, because the nature of which they find that person, and also with the match with the history of this country, I don't think those cases can be ruled unaliving as soon as you get to the scene. Like, I think it'll take more than 24 hours to decide. So my thing is, the first red flag, Hiawassee, Georgia. This is a sundown town with virtually no black population. There's no black population there. I looked it up. One thing said 0% black population and another one said 2. Okay, so there's virtually no black population. But within the past year, there's been 3 black men that's been found unalive there, and they all were ruled suicide. In Hiawassee, Georgia, a town that has no black population. So why would there be 3 black people found unalive there, and then they all unalive themselves at a place where black people don't frequent or don't live, or to that matter, anything there? So that's a red flag to me off the rip. The other red flag was the firefighter they arrested. At first, everybody thought that the firefighter was arrested for being involved in the unaliving of them. But it came out that he actually was arrested because he took pictures of the crime scene and then he shared those pictures to the public. Why he did that, I don't know. I don't know what would make you want to do something like that. Unless you have ill intentions. That's how I look at it. And I remember people were saying like, oh, like he wanted to expose them. Like he wanted to show foul play happen. He wanted to show that. I didn't get that. Because the pictures were shared, ended up in the schools in Towns County. So they were sharing the pictures around the schools in Towns County. Scott Curlin is his name. I don't understand how a 42-year-old man is taking pictures of this crime scene illegally, and then somehow it ended up in the schools with the kids, and now they're sharing the picture around. Like, that was very weird to me. Especially since all the schools out there are majority white. This picture is going around showing these, 2 teen boys in this position, and it's being like passed around like some type of joke or like a key moment or whatever the case may be. It was shared around so much so that the superintendent of Towns County had to release a statement saying, like, we're aware that this happened. I guess they ensured that everybody deleted the picture out of their phone. Okay. And then they went on to say that, well, no one suffered any consequences because they didn't know that they were sharing pictures from an illegal crime scene. Like, this happened in y'all county, so how are you not aware of the news that's going on in your county? Like, it had just happened. There's investigation still underway. So what do you mean they didn't know what they were doing? Like, I'm pretty sure they knew they wasn't supposed to have that picture. So they, in fact, did know what they were doing. Scott Curlin knew what he was doing. And I look at that as, like, again, a souvenir, like a kiki kind of moment. Other people were saying that they think he did it to show that they try to cover this up or whatever. I don't think he did that. And I'm going to put his picture up. He don't even look like he would help any, like, he don't look like he's concerned about 2 black boys being found unalive. Like, he don't look like he would help in that situation at all. Like, that's just not the vibe that I'm getting from him, like, at all. And coupled with his actions, that definitely wasn't the reason why he did that. He had ill intent, and that's period, point blank. So GBI released their report, and the family basically, said, like, we appreciate, y'all efforts, but we're not buying it. They made a list of things that still didn't make sense to them, and they still had more questions, and they basically want answers as to what's going on. So number one, the GBI basically said, they said location data from the twins' phone established a timeline of from when they left Lawrenceville to when they went to Bell Mountain. They said that the cell phone data shows a timeline, and they said that they provided video evidence to show this timeline. The family basically saying that the only video that they were showed was a video of the twins being at the gas station that's 9 minutes away from their house. Bell Mountain is 90 miles away from there. So you kind of got to do better than that. If they only had the video of them being at the gas station that's 9 minutes away from their house, that doesn't establish a timeline, especially when the place that their bodies were found at was 90 miles away from where they were. So them being 9 minutes away from the house, and that's the only video y'all showing me, that does not establish a timeline. I'm sorry. You have to show me something closer to them going to that destination that we just told y'all, that we already told y'all that they know nothing about. They don't know anything about Hiawassee, Georgia. They've never been there. They're not hikers. They don't like to hike. The family also said if the GBI has more videos they want to show, they want everything to be released to the public, because we don't have none of these videos. They showed it to the family. The family would like for the videos to be released to the public, and they're not being released. And that's another thing I don't understand. Especially if you suspect no foul play, it should be you should feel no restrictions in releasing anything, because you already feel like there's no suspect in this case. So what would be the reason to hide anything? The family is also trying to figure out, how did the twins' car end up inside the gate? Because they're on footage at the gas station, I believe at like 10:30 at night. But the gate for the hiking trail closes at 9 p.m. So they were not inside the gate when the gate was locked. I'll post the video so you can see what kind of gate it is. But yeah, if they were parked on the outside, I could believe it. But yeah, how did their car get inside a gate that the sheriff is the only one who has the key to this gate? And they were supposed to open it at 8 a.m. in the morning. Another thing that's weird too, the family didn't really mention this, but they're not giving a time of death. I tried to look it up. I tried to find information on it. They're not establishing a time of death. I believe the bodies was found at 11 a.m. on March 8th. They're not giving a timeline of how long they were there. Because again, how did their car get inside the gate if the gate was closed? That's the last time they were seen. And again, they didn't give them any additional footage. I'm pretty sure they passed businesses that have cameras and all of that. They probably passed some streetlights that have cameras. Why are y'all not showing that? Because the point of them showing the gas station video was to prove that they were alone, because people are saying like somebody could have forced them to go up there. They could have been kidnapped. They could have been lured there. So they're showing the gas station video to prove that, hey, they were by themselves. They acted by themselves. No, that doesn't prove nothing. That just proves that they went to the store around the corner from their motherfucking house. FBI said they were not able to ping the location 30 minutes before they got to the mountain. Like, once they were 30 minutes away from the mountain, their phones were off. It was not pinging on any towers 30 minutes prior to reaching Bell Mountain. So the family wants to know, how did they know how to get there? Again, this is a place they've never been. They don't know anything about this area. They had a 2009 Nissan Altima, so they don't have navigation in the car. So if they're not using navigation on their phones, how the fuck would they know how to get there? How would they know where they're going? And they're going to a place they ain't never been before. How would they know? And out of all places, why the fuck would they go there? Like, make it make sense. And then you mean both of their phones was off 30 minutes before getting up there. That's not weird? Because I can see if one of them phone died or something, but both of them are off. Yeah, that's suspicious. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. How did they find their way around? And then the family even drove up there, but they went in the daytime, and it showed like these small ass like winding roads to get up to the mountain. Like, so you want me to believe that they were doing this at nighttime in an area that they're not familiar with on these tight ass roads? Come on, bro. They also keep reporting that both the brothers had plane tickets. I even seen a couple news stations say the plane tickets were still in their wallets in the car or whatever. They left their phones in the car, the plane tickets in the car. Mind you, only one of the twins were going. I don't know why the original story was they both were going to go see friends. No, only one twin was going to visit his girlfriend, and that's Naazir. Qaadir was staying behind. Once Naazir got to the airport and missed his flight, he went back home. He first of all, he rebooked his flight, and then he went back home. Qaadir was already home. Qaadir was never going with him. He was never going to Boston. Naazir was going to see his girlfriend. There was no reason for Qaadir to be there. I don't know why they keep reporting that both twins were flying. They were not. So that's the thing. So if Naazir never missed his flight, will we even be having this conversation about them at Bell Mountain? Because if you're going to say they planned this, or they had a twin pact, or they wanted to do this, why is plane tickets involved at all? Why even book a flight and then go through the hassle of rebooking a missed flight if you plan to unalive yourself? Now, the internet searches from the phone. This so damn stupid. And I was mad because people were originally saying, oh, they were looking up how to commit unaliving. No, they were not. And a lot of people were saying that, and that's crazy. But the GBI, this is my whole thing. They were looking up, the internet searches show they were looking up how to put ammunition in a pew-pew. That does not mean that they had unaliving thoughts. It just means they wanted to know how to put ammunition in a pew-pew. And then that lets me know that they don't have knowledge of a pew-pew. Like, if they have to look that up, they don't really know too much about them in the first place. Another internet search, they said they were looking up the 2024 unaliving rates. They could have been doing a paper for school. They were both in college. Like, because I'm just trying to figure out the correlation between the things that they picked that they felt like stood out. Because it's looking like y'all trying to make it seem like that's what it was, but it can be interpreted as anything. Like, those two searches are not linked to having unaliving thoughts. It could literally mean anything. I've looked up unaliving records before, and I don't have unaliving thoughts. I've looked up all kind of things. I've looked up serial unalivers before, but I'm not a serial unaliver. Okay, like I looked up all, and I would hate for anybody to look in my search history and try to put something on me just because I was curious about something that has nothing to do with me. Also, what does last year's rates have to do with them unaliving themselves in 2025? And then they didn't even go into detail about when these searches happened. When were they searching these things? Was it last month, last week? Like when? Last year? Like when did these searches happen? And then they keep framing it like their searches. Like it's two twins. Whose phone did you find this in? Are y'all specifying whose phone that y'all looking in and finding? Like, I just like, cause it's just wow. Like, whose phone did you find it in? Which twin? Cause y'all talking like they one person. Yes, they're twins, but they are two different people. Also, when did these searches occur? Y'all not saying that. That's why y'all being vague on purpose. The family also wants to know if anything in their search history is looking up Bell Mountain. Because again, they claim that they've never been there. They don't know anything about that. They're not hikers. They don't do things like that. So yeah, do you see anything in their GPS that says Bell Mountain? Did they look that up in their GPS? Did they Google Bell Mountain? Because that's relevant. I'm trying to see, who was the last person they were texting? Who was the last person they were talking to? What's the last thing they said before the phones lost cell tower service? What did they text messages say? Like, anything in their phone to show something, like something. What did their call log say? Were they meeting up with someone? Were they talking to a girl or something like that? And the police chief of Hiawassee, Georgia, recently resigned on May 25th. with no explanation. And the GBI's final report came out May 21st. So 4 days later, the police chief just resigned with no explanation, no nothing, just up and quit. That's not suspicious. And I found that information on the auntie's page too. And it's sad that I even had to go. I had to like really go to the auntie's page because I was not finding no information nowhere else. And Trevante lived with his dad. And also they both were found in the same area. It's been said that their bodies were found 15 minutes away from each other. So again, in this place where there's literally no black people, 3 black men just all of a sudden popped up on the scene unalived, and it was self-inflicted in a sundown town. And it's definitely something deeper as to why this keeps happening in that area that really doesn't have a black population. And I would definitely be curious to hear anybody else's theories. I have a theory, but I'm not going to say it because, yeah, I'm just not going to say it. I'm not even going to get into that, but just know the evil and wickedness have never left these people. And that's all I'm going to say. Yes, I will link her page. The link is in her bio. If you feel called to, please help this family get the answers that they need.